think talking about high value NFTs and talking about buying and selling and all the rest, I do think it's very important to acknowledge that since this thing with Russia and Ukraine has happened and been finalized, because it sort of was threatened, and then they said they're not going to invade. Russia said they're not going to invade Ukraine, and then literally the a few hours before they went in, they told them that they were going ahead with it, which in and of itself is horrible. I mean, imagine you're at a restaurant in the afternoon with your family, and that night you're rushing to get out.
Yeah.
But the world we live in is uncertain, and this adds a level of uncertainty to a already uncertain world. And even before this, COVID, that made us remember how everything could be turned upside down. And this has been a reminder of that. Now, surprisingly, the Ethereum price dipped all the way to 2,200 on the news of Russia and Ukraine, and has since bounced back to about 2.7, which is very surprising that it bounced so quickly. And NFTs have recovered to their pre-Russia news level. So mutants are sitting at 18 again, sort of like nothing happened. Everything dipped about 10-15% after already going down for a few days before that, and then now has come back. I do think it's important to just guide you guys through this from an NFT perspective, right? As much as I can, not financial advice. Do your own research and make your own decisions. But I do think number one, and I've been giving this a lot of thought, number one is I think it's very important if you are financially using money that you require for necessities and for day-to-day life, or money that you need to that by using this money for NFTs, you are not able to do the normal things you would do in your normal life. I think now would be a great opportunity once it's bounced to get out and get that ETH out as well, convert it back to dollars and put it in your bank account, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. And we always say the space is very risky, but this adds a layer of risk to a already risky space. Now, we do know that when there's big global things like war and stuff like that, cryptocurrency tanks. I mean, that's what happens. And that's exactly because of what I said, because there's already risk in cryptocurrency. And now you add more risk to that with the global climate. And it's all of a sudden too much risk for most sane people out there. And people get out all at the same time. So number one, if you're playing with money that is not even if you, I'm not even saying you need it to eat. That's obvious. Even if there was nothing going on. I'm saying that you having sleepless nights. It's enough money compared to how much you have out of NFTs that you are concerned about or fixated on floor price of particular collections and things like that, to the point that you know how important this is. If this goes south, the NFT side, then you're in big trouble financially. If that's the case, I think this is the perfect opportunity to get out, and I would get out and run immediately, because this Russia-Ukraine thing is not over. It's just begun. And all we need is for world powers to get involved. And this could really be a world war. And Russia's a huge force to be reckoned with from a military perspective. So this is very shaky ground. So from my side, I just wanted to get that out there. However, if you're playing with money that you do not need, and of course you don't want to piss away any amount of money, but if everything went to zero tomorrow, your life would not change in any way whatsoever, your normal life, and you would carry on and be fine. In that case, what I'm doing, because I'm in that circumstance, is I used yesterday when the price dropped, and we posted it on our Discord. So at 2.3, I bought a fortune of Ethereum, a big amount. Number one. Number two, I bought into some collections that I've been watching. So I didn't want to do. I just bought a Clonex the day before. Let's just keep it in perspective. And I just bought it back into Invisible Friends when the news came, and they went to 8. Okay, so I'd spent a lot of ETH on blue chips. Okay, so then I didn't want to get a cool cat or whatever. Even though they were sitting at 7, they're now back to 9. but I bought into Cool Pets. I got a Cool Pets at 1.2 something, which was an absolute steal. So again, we say if you can't get into the main collection, get into the sub collection. And I did the same with Gutter Cats. I got a rat, which is their sub collection, also at 1 ETH. I haven't seen it at 1 ETH for months and months and months. So I did that as number one. So I used it as an opportunity to buy into collections that I've been waiting for the floor to dip. Number two, I carefully went through my entire portfolio, which is 300 NFTs. And any NFT that I had any niggly doubt about, if I wasn't sure what they were up to, I went into their Discord. I probably spent about 10 hours and I went through my entire NFT collection. Anything that I felt uneasy or I saw anything that threw me off, I listed at below floor. And I got out. So I was able to get about 3 or 4 ETH out. So I'm talking smaller collections. This I sold for 0.07, even though I paid 0.2. And this one I just got out. That's what I would advise anyone who does have the liquidity to ride this out in NFTs. Is not going to need the money that they've got in NFTs and is happy to ride this out because it will recover, and it always does. I would trim my collection to the real long-term potential projects and get rid of anything speculative, because those are going to really struggle. So that's just my take on it and what I did personally, and I hope that gives you a bit of guidance. Moreland, on your side, what do you think? Anything that you can add?
I agree. Personally, I have my few that I really do want to hold on to and I'm not getting rid of. I listed a few actually just the other day that I just want to get some liquidity back. But I agree, it's very uncertain times, and a lot of times that's sort of the time that people get rich as well, right? So when there's fear, it's also a time of opportunity, but just know what your own risk tolerance is and have a plan, have an entry and an exit strategy, whether it's in coins or in an NFT as well. And like you said, you sometimes you might have to be okay with taking a loss just to get that liquidity out and have it a little more secure, because we do really not know, and we're in new territory every single day. In the NFT space is new territory, right? It's very unprecedented space. It's only been at this hype and this peak for about a year or so, right? So just be safe out there, guys, and make sure you take your time, do your research, and do what's right for you. Don't let any FOMO things or anyone else's decisions sway you. You have to do what's right for you and for the people in your lives. So, yeah.
And obviously, if we've got any followers or listeners in Ukraine, our deepest love and thoughts and prayers to you and your family. And we hope this passes as quickly as possible.